to tell you whatever you allow yourself to do is a habit, unless you have like a twitch or something that has a neurological underpinning that you can identify. And even those things, you can almost certainly do things that make them worse and things that make them easier to deal with. So we're going to take full responsibility for our lives and realize that we can do things to break these habits. So for me, getting out of bed, for me, allowing myself to be distracted, for me, not sitting down and meditating when I knew that that is one of the ways that you can build the discipline that you need to stay on task, to stay focused. And another one, and this is a bad habit that I know a lot of you right now have, lean in. I so often see people make the same mistake that I suffered from for years and still to this day must stop myself from doing. And that is doing the easy things first. Doing the fun things first. The right order to do things is order of importance. What's the lead domino, as Tim Ferriss would say? You know what your goal is. You know where you're trying to go. You know what you're trying to get to. What's the order in which you can execute on your task list that's going to make everything easier? If I do this first thing first, everything after this is going to be a little bit easier because this contributes to the most things in the downline. So I'll give you an example. In business, if ever you have two tasks before you that are of equal importance, and one of those tasks is hiring, hiring is always the lead domino, because now you have doubled the amount of things that can get done, because before it was just you. If you hire, now there's you and this new person. But all the time, I see people avoid doing the hiring because it's a pain in the ass. It is a long, difficult process. It requires you to do a lot of boring shit. But the reality is, if you keep putting it off, it never happens. And you end up doing everything yourself forever because you failed to recognize that hiring is a lead domino. From there, everything else in your life gets easier. So yes, you have to do the hard thing up front. And I struggled with this, with hiring. I came up with this rule because, as Nietzsche says, I don't know if he said this exact words, because this might be somebody else's phrase, but certainly this idea is well in his world, that every theory is autobiographical. Every theory is autobiographical. So if ever you hear somebody say, everybody's an asshole, what do you know about them? They're an asshole. So when I say that, hey, if you struggle with getting out of bed, it's because, hey, you're doing the easy things first. It's because these are the things that I've struggled with in my life. So no judgment, but it is not useful. It is not easy. It is not going to serve you. You want to make sure that you write things down. So write them down before you get to that point. So I keep an important things list. So just doing things willy-nilly, one of the biggest habits I had to break. So I started writing it down. I put them in order and I forced myself, bad habit. Oh, these things are equally important. No, they're not. You have to force yourself to force rank them. So break my bad habit. No, they're not. I'm the kind of person that can put things in sequential order. There's only one number one. There's only one number two. There's only one number three, so on and so forth.
Yo, I'm ready. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto, the #1 cryptocurrency morning show in the world. We're about to go live on every single platform. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Zoom, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other platforms. Welcome to the call. I'm so grateful that you guys chose to hop on. I'm telling you, today's call is about to be one of the greatest calls you ever experienced. I've compounded so much information, and I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who shows up at this point. Like I promise, it does not matter who shows up at this point. The people that do not show up for this information will lose everything. I'm going to repeat it. The people that do not show up for the information moving forward will lose everything. If you're still playing fucking games, excuse my language, but I got to get serious. You might want to get the kids out the room today. I got to be real with you guys. If you keep playing freaking games, okay, if you keep playing games with this information, I promise to everything that I love, if you do not get your crypto off these exchanges, if you do not get with the proper coaches, if you do not learn this information, you will lose everything. You will lose everything. You better ask somebody who left their money in FTX. If you know someone that left their money in FTX, you better ask them, how does it feel? If you know someone that left their money in Celsius, you better ask them, how does it feel? Guys, welcome to Coffee and Crypto, the #1 cryptocurrency morning show in the world. I'm not making nothing up today. Everything that you're about to see is going to be actual and factual. Shout out to everybody that took the time to get on the call. I promise you, go blast this out to your audience. Even if they don't own crypto, blast it out, because what they're seeing right now on Fox News, on CNBC, on Bloomberg, they're hearing about this FTX scandal. And you better understand that this is bigger than Enron. If you don't know what Enron is from 2001, go and do your research. But thank God you hopped on, because I'm going to show you today. Guys, it's about to get really crazy. Excuse my language up front. I am pissed. I am absolutely upset. I'm absolutely upset because I am a consumer. I am a retail investor. I'm someone who's put my money into this space. I put my faith into this space, and I take it very seriously. And for people to mess with us the way that they've messed with our money, to mess with billions of dollars of investor funding, it's absolutely pathetic. And I got the proof today. I need you guys to drop those coffee emojis, send this chat out, and I'm about to start this call off with about a 3-minute video. Well, actually, it's about a 7-minute video. The reason why I want you guys to hear this video before I even get started, okay? Listen, if we deal with technical difficulties today, I want you to be patient with me. Today's call is going to get done. I don't care what happens. It has to happen. So I need for everybody that's tuning on YouTube right now to click the subscribe button and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. If you have not subscribed to the Oh My Crypto Network on YouTube, I need you to go and do that right now in support of this channel. And let's really get this going. And I have a huge announcement. I had a meeting last night with an amazing investor who's highly invested in quant. And I'm going to show you guys who it is. All right. We have a special interview for episode number 57 next week. Yes. Interview number 2 is on the way. Oh, yes. I told you guys, we're connecting, we're collaborating, and we're partnering with some of the brightest minds in the cryptocurrency space. And what you're going to notice, and the interviews will continue to get bigger and bigger, and the audience will continue to grow bigger and bigger. Why? Because what you believe in your mind will ultimately start to happen, but you have to continue to believe. So I appreciate you guys for believing in me. So with that being said, let's dive into this. This is, all right, a Democrat versus Republican issue. This is an issue that stems so deep into our government that it does not make sense. And I want you guys to take notes today, because today's call is about to be the greatest call we've ever experienced. Let's get it.
The Democratic Party finds itself in the middle of the biggest financial fraud case in U.S. history. A cryptocurrency company, you know, like the Bitcoin things, just lost $2 billion of its customers' money. They didn't just lose it in the market, it's just gone. Someone stole it. And the company called FTX just went bankrupt after they blew up $32 billion.
The crypto market in chaos after the collapse of the FTX exchange, with a new set of questions on where billions and billions of dollars went.
A criminal investigation of its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, has been opened in the Bahamas.
This is being called the worst disaster in the history of crypto.
This is bigger than Bernie Madoff. But unlike Bernie Madoff, who was getting rich off a Ponzi scheme, the Democratic Party was getting rich off of FTX. FTX came onto the scene in 2019, and it spent $10 million to put Joe Biden in the White House in 2020. And the guy running FTX, the second biggest Democrat donor in the midterms, after Soros, of course, spent $40 million to get Democrats elected. Wonder why someone like John Fetterman was able to raise as much as 4 times as much cash as Oz? Well, you can thank Sam Bankman-Fried, who ran this crypto scheme out of a penthouse in the Bahamas.
Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my story. Sam has crazy hair. Sam is vegan. Sam sleeps 5 hours a night. Sam lives in the Bahamas with 10 roommates. Sam is 29 years old only, but Sam has $22 billion and he wants to donate all of it to charity.
And the charity was the Democratic Party. Look at Sam right there behind George Soros. Soros paid for a crime wave, and Sam may have committed a crime to stop a red wave. The guy was throwing so much money around, it got the owner a seat right next to Clinton. And he got an invite to Bill's after party with celebrities like Katy Perry, of course. You know, Clinton's really got an eye for mega donors. First Epstein, Sam Bankman-Fried, who they call SPF. If you spend enough money on Democrats, they don't care how you got the money as long as it gets to them. All the celebrities were jumping in too. Larry David was doing commercials for the guy. Tom Brady and Giselle were ambassadors. The John Fetterman of cryptocurrency, SPF, was just at the White House, actually. He got 2 closed doors meetings with Biden's senior advisor in the spring, right around the time Biden was shipping billions to Ukraine. The funny thing is, Ukraine was an investor in FTX. You may be asking, why is a country in the middle of a war investing in crypto? Shouldn't they be buying weapons? Or, I mean, if they have to invest in anything, doesn't crypto sound a little risky for Zelensky? You wouldn't want an investment with a solid rate of return and years of stable growth? No. Zelensky thought he'd give it to a guy living in a tax haven, fresh out of college with funny hair. Well, when Democrats are sending you billions of dollars of weaponry, the least you could do is reward their favorite mega donor. And what did FTX do with the money Ukraine invested? Well, they plowed it right back into the Democratic Party. Democrats send money to Ukraine. Ukraine sends money to FTX, and FTX sends money to the Democrats' campaigns. Now, I don't know if this is war profiteering or money laundering. I don't even know, but it needs to be investigated. And we don't really know who's getting what because SPF, the crypto kid, who looks like a mini Madoff, likes his money in the dark.
Mm.
So in the end, I want to do what's right for the country.
You think every money you spend in politics should be disclosed publicly? Are you comfortable with that?
If there was a norm where every dollar that everyone donated in politics was to be disclosed publicly, I would have a lot of sympathy for that. I think I might support it. I haven't thought carefully about it enough to know. But
Well, it sounds like what you're saying is maybe there's some donations that you have made that you wouldn't make if you knew they were going to be immediately public.
So I think I don't generally think about it that way.
I mean, it's like, can you believe Chuck Todd? I mean, first they fall for Avenatti, and then they fall for this guy. I mean, was it even his money to begin with? It looks like it was investor money he was spending on Democrats. The Wall Street Journal reports FTX was cracking into customers' accounts and using their funds for other stuff. And then when customers wanted to withdraw their money, a lot of it was gone. The Justice Department and the SEC have launched an investigation because this looks like the mega donor also lied to Congress.
We have a transparent system where all of our data all of our public market data is openly available and free, where risk parameters are transparent.
No, so transparent. Did he think he was too big to fail because he had regulators in his pocket? Probably. I mean, you're bulletproof when you can buy politicians. And this guy was planning on buying Biden with $1 billion.
I imagine you have some probability distribution in your mind of how much money you might give in the next election cycle. Like, give me some number.
I would guess north of 100 million.
So if that's the floor, what's the ceiling? Like $1 billion? Might you give $1 billion?
Yeah, I think that's a decent thing to look at.
So the Democrats' second biggest donor just blew up right after he helped Democrats keep the Senate. Oops, that's a shame. Perfect timing for Chuck Schumer, though. But this was a family affair. The crypto fraudster's brother has a job in Congress, of course. He works on the Financial Services Committee, and he works for a Democrat. So the guy in charge of oversight is staffed by family members of Minnie Madoff. Whatever happened to the 32 billion anyway. I wonder if there was any red flags. Oh, here's one. The person running cash flow at FTX isn't good at math.
Use very little math. Use a lot of like elementary school math.
So I see those abstract math classes are not required.
You never have all the information, so you kind of just have to make your best guess based on what you can see. We tend not to have things like stop losses. I think those aren't necessarily a great risk management tool. Yeah. You kind of just have to make your best guess based on what you can see. We tend not to have things like stop losses. I think those aren't necessarily a great risk management tool. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example of a trade where I've lost a ton of money. Well, I don't know. I probably don't want to go into specifics too much with that.
You had executives bragging they don't do risk management. And that, by the way, that was Minnie Madoff's girlfriend. She was living in a penthouse in one of the world's famous tax havens with him in the Bahamas. There were 10 kids working in this office and they were all sleeping with each other. It was a polyamorous penthouse.
Uh-oh.
What you call a pump and dump scheme. And no one noticed a thing.
That's what you call a pump and dump scheme. Hey, so I showed that video because number one, that's from Fox News, and we know media, all right, and they're really pushing the agenda. And guys, we just finished midterm elections, right? That's over with. And they sent so much money to Ukraine. They funded the Democrat Party. But what about the Republican Party? Oh, I got a little something on that too, right? Because Fox chooses what they want to show, right? So we're gonna show the real thing on Coffee and Crypto every single time, right? So let's go ahead and continue moving forward. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried admits that FTX, this is on CNN, that FTX is a crypto laundromat for the Ukraine government. All right, listen to this video.
The last time we talked, we were talking about philanthropy, and I know you set up, working with the Ukrainian government, ways to use crypto to raise money for the government. I just wanted to ask you quickly, because obviously they've also changed the rules, concerns about sort of spillover effects and substitution away from their currency.
Yep.
How much money did you raise, and what do you think about this as a tool for the governments, but also the risks associated with it too?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that gets to the point that this can be a great thing for the world. I think it can also be a really messy thing. But I think that at its core, we've seen millions of dollars go through the systems we've given. I think something close to $1 million ourselves as well to support humanitarian aid and growth in Ukraine. And I think when you think about what it would take to get funds both to the government there, where we do have a relationship with the Ukrainian government for raising capital for them using cryptocurrencies that run through FTX. Whether it's getting money to the government or whether it's getting money to individuals that are in need. There are literally tanks outside of the banks. And this gets to, I think, one of the, places where it can be really important to have a fully digital banking system and fully digital, way of handling payments. And I think that's, an international one. That's the core of what we've been, helping to support in Ukraine.
Yeah, I think it's a healthy conversation to be having away from some of the noise of digital assets and cryptocurrencies themselves, that the work goes on beneath. Sam, great to chat to you. Come back soon, please, because I have a million more questions for you, but as always, not enough time.
So Sam has been paying his way, not paving the way, but he's been paying his way into being a monopoly and to monopolize the market. And he was so close until they messed up, until they went insolvent, until he had to file for bankruptcy. Now, this video is from the CEO of Citadel, which is one of the biggest banks in the world. I want you guys to listen to what the CEO had to say about this horrific experience that's been going on in the cryptocurrency market. Listen up, family.
Fried's FTX. Well, okay, so big picture, the crypto market cap today is a fraction of what it was when we first started talking about it. So crypto's not.
It was 3 trillion and now it's well under a billion.
It's like 800 billion, of which a big part of that's stable coins, right? So you really move back into the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum as the two dominant cryptocurrencies, both of which actually happen to be CFTC regulated. Look, FTX is one of these absolute travesties in the history of financial markets. I mean,
People will lose billions of dollars collectively.
people are going to lose billions of dollars. And that undermines trust in all financial markets.
But was the fundamental problem that it was a business built on cryptocurrency to begin with, or that it was a business that wasn't adequately regulated, or that it was a business that the venture capital and other investors who put money into FTX didn't adequately, diligence? What's the fundamental problem?
Well, I think the fundamental
Or was
issue,
it just fraud?
so first of all, that's a really big choice of words to use, and I can't go there at this point in time. What we do know is the balance sheet shows a giant black hole. And there's no doubt that customer assets were used to make investment decisions in favor of FTX's shareholders, which didn't work, at the expense of the customers. That's not permitted in American broker dealers. You can't just use your customer assets to go engage in proprietary trading. That's a huge no-no.
It's a no-no.
So first off, I want to ask you guys, and I want you guys to start to ponder on this, is the reason why American regulation been stifled because the Democrats wanted to win Senate. Did they win Senate? Did the Democrats keep the Senate? Yes, they did. They kept it. They kept the Senate and they funded it through this crypto laundromat called FTX. Let's continue to listen.
World. It's in most parts of the world. And that's a good no-no, to be clear, too. All right. So FTX, billions of dollars have been lost here. The confidence, though, of a generation in financial markets has also been shaken. And that's really awful because the 20-some-year-olds to 40-year-olds who are so engaged in crypto, they've got to save for their retirement. And if they don't believe or trust in financial markets, this is a huge problem. They need to own stocks. They need to own corporate debt. They need to partake in our global capital markets. Now, with FTX, there are a few points here that we should talk about. The turf war by American regulators has got to end. It's just preposterous that, without naming the agencies, they all dance around who owns what and who. And the bottom line is, American investors have really gotten hurt here, to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars in decline in market cap and crypto over the last 2 years. I mean, that really strikes at the entire core or essence of what's investor protection all about. The second is that FTX crosses into a zone that all of us are worried about. On the balance sheet of FTX is a line called Trump lose. And Sam was the second biggest donor to Democratic candidates. On the balance sheet of FTX is a line called Trump lose. And Sam was the second biggest donor to Democratic candidates.
I'm going to leave it to everybody else to draw their own conclusions.
Speechless. Speechless.
Right? Those are really, really ugly facts when you see a fraud of this magnitude having played out, and you find no regulators were there to prevent it.
Wow.
That's a really, really tough story.
We could talk for quite a while about FTX. Sadly, we don't have it. So I have to finish.
Wow. Let's keep pushing forward. So, all right, today, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Usually I do a lot of talking and I have some talking to do. I have some other stuff to show you guys, but we got to really go through this, right? We got to really dissect this. All right. And if we don't, we'll miss some key things. So if you guys are okay with me really dissecting this on YouTube, drop the coffees in the emoji, drop the coffee emojis. If y'all are okay with me really taking my time to dissect this, I need you guys on Zoom, YouTube. Let me know, man. If it's okay with y'all, drop those coffee emojis. All right, cool. I'm gonna take my time on this. All right. Y'all got to see it all. I've spent hours researching this stuff for you guys. Literally, I didn't even really sleep last night because it was so much to truly take in my mind. I'm like, yo, this is absolutely insane. So I came across this guy's page on Twitter. Bruce Fenton, all right? He's the CEO, all right, of a managing director of a company called Watchdog Capital, right? Watchdog Capital is an SEC registered broker deal, member FINRA, SIPC, all right? So they are a securities brokerage for the Bitcoin age. So they are a digital securities brokerage that actually took the time. They are a startup company that took the time to actually go and follow the rules with the SEC. And they still did not get the type of meetings that Sam Bankman-Fried got. They did not get the free pass. Pay attention, family. This is an 8-minute video. It's a little long, but you can see how bothered this man is. And he doesn't even have to be bothered. He's a billionaire. Let's go.
So my video is to Mr. Gary Gensler of the SEC. I'm regulated by you. I've been regulated by the SEC for 30 years. My entire adult life, I've been regulated by the SEC. I'm a majority owner in a FINRA broker-dealer. I've been registered as a FINRA securities principal for over 25 years. I've never had a customer complaint, never had a regulatory issue, never had a customer lawsuit. And I've been in the crypto industry for 9 years. And what I would like to say, I think that you're in danger of losing your moral authority to regulate us, to regulate people like me in our industry, everybody. It's your job to keep the industry clean, but I think that these ties with SBF and your discussions and everything about it has to come to light. You talk about transparency. I'm doing a video right now. Everyone in our industry is doing videos right now. You do videos all the time for promotion. But where are you now? Where are you this weekend? You're not in the Clubhouse chats or the spaces, the Twitter spaces. Why not? Why are you not there? Why are you not there talking? I mean, you can do, highly specific politician style scripted interviews or things like that in a very narrow setting. But what are you doing with the other 23 hours in the day? I know you have a lot of meetings and things, of course, but it's the weekend now. Where are you? Where is your transparency? I would like to hear about the relation. I'd like to hear about what happened in the meeting. A lot of us are talking publicly about what dealings people had with SBF. What about you? You had a public meeting. You had a meeting with him. His general counsel was your former employee. The president of FTX Research is the daughter of somebody who I think was your boss at MIT or ran the department or something. Now, maybe there's nothing to these things. You meet a lot of people. We can't fault you for meeting somebody who's a scammer. But we wonder if it becomes a pattern. Bernie Madoff was head of the largest regulator. Bernie Madoff also donated a lot of money to politicians, including Hillary Clinton. And you, Mr. Gensler, were chairman of Hillary Clinton's finance committee. And Bernie Madoff donated to Hillary Clinton. And Sam and FTX employees donated over $11 million to the politician who appointed you.
Wow.
And again, that's fair game, but we are owed transparency, aren't we, Mr. Gensler? Are we owed at least this? Can you do a video like this? Do you have a phone? Can you go outside and do a video like this, like I'm doing? Because we're frustrated, sir. I can't get a meeting with you. I've been in crypto 9 years. I'm a startup. And I can't get a meeting with you. I have questions. We have questions. Everybody, my colleagues, we want to know how this will work. We set out and did the work to be a broker dealer. We got regulated. We haven't really been able to do it as nearly as much as we would like because we can't even get clarity. You are saying, oh, go get regulated. Well, we did. And then what? Well, It's a lot of gray area. It reminds me of third world countries, honestly. It's a lot of like, well, you have, but you can't quite. You can't quite do this. We can't get a straight answer. We can't get any answers at all. Apparently, Sam had a lot more access. And again, maybe that's reasonable. He had a big company. Of course, you're going to meet billionaire people. And if I tried hard enough, maybe little old me could get a meeting and get some actual answers on the things that. And we're a startup. You know, we're a venture-backed startup. You know, we need to get products to market. We would love to be issuing digital securities legally. I recognize that the securities were illegal offerings years ago because I've been in this business my whole life. I knew that the Dow was an unregistered offering, and that was the reason that I went down this road. I said, "Oh boy, SEC's not going to like that. That's definitely a violation. You know, what I'm going to do it right." And I'm just one of them. It's not about me. I'm one of a million examples. I'm lucky enough that I'm actually registered. I have some understanding of these things. I was able to avoid a lot of trouble because I knew that a lot of this was trouble. But there's a lot of other people who don't even have that clarity. They just can't understand. You know, my friend Eric Voorhees has said, "Can you just give us a list of what's a security or not? Just give us a list. Can you just do that? You must have it somewhere. Can your analysts, your people, your lawyers, all these people that we're paying, can't you just get a list? Just tell us." And that's a reasonable thing. I mean, I understand as a securities professional, it's a bit more complex than that. It's based on a definition and facts and circumstances and on and on. But the industry is really, really, really crying for some kind of clarity. And the situation now does not look good. It looks like a banana republic. It looks like a place where you get access to and answers to questions based on favors and who you pay and this kind of thing. And who has, you know, Sam had all these doors. I know, I ran for Senate. Sam had all these doors open for him. He gave 30 million this term, 30 million last term, 11 million to Biden, said he might give $1 billion. He had more doors open for him in your backyard and in your own offices and throughout Washington, D.C. than probably anyone in modern history. And you know, the sad thing is that money that paid for that was stolen from investors. That's stolen from people. Your job's to protect investors. And no one will pay for this because it went through the PACs. At worst, the PACs will get a claw back on a bankruptcy and the PACs will go under. It'll never go back to the politicians. So we have skepticism when you claim the moral authority to regulate us. And we have to think about, is it working? Honestly, Bernie Madoff ran NASDAQ. He was chairman of NASDAQ, which is NASDAQ at the time included NASDR, which, as you know, became FINRA. It didn't work to stop Bernie Madoff. It didn't work to stop SBF. Maybe the market is the best regulator. Maybe, you know, proof of reserves on chain, you know, the kind of things that our industry is doing right now. Our industry has moved forward safety more in the last week than probably ever before. And we've moved it more in the last 10 years, certainly, than regulators. What has kept investors safest over the last 10 years? A bunch of people on Twitter saying, not your keys, not your coins.
Wow. Not a guy go down there to Washington, D.C., donating to politicians and then pushing forth legislation just 2 weeks ago. Sam and his people were pushing forth legislation in Washington that was taken very, very seriously. And people were saying, well, you know, it just needs more carve-outs and protections for DeFi. You know, this is an absurd situation. And if there's going to be a big upset for our industry, as everybody's talking about, oh, the hammer's coming down now. Well, then there needs to be some soul searching in Washington, D.C. as well. And so I would call on anyone involved in this, all the policymakers, all the politicians, Mr. Gary Gensler, and anyone else involved. I'd call on them for some transparency. Take your phone out, make a video just like I just did. No script. You know, tell us what's up. I think we have a right to know that, especially those of us, those of you who are public employees.
You know, political figures, we pay for you. So yeah, there's got to be a shakeup and there's got to be some soul searching, but it's got to start in Washington, D.C. as well.
Wow. All right. So we went through a lot of great videos. Now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes. Let's get it. Former U.S. Treasury compares FTX collapse to infamous Enron fraud. Crypto regulation incoming, question mark. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers has compared the sudden fall of cryptocurrency exchange FTX to the energy trader Enron scandal in the early 2000s. If you know about the Enron scandal, drop some coffees in the chat box. Lehman Brothers was an investment bank that collapsed in 2008. It marks the largest bankruptcy of its time, as its liquidation took 14 years. Trustee James W. Giddens was ultimately able to return more than $115 billion to customers and creditors. On the other hand, the Enron scandal was an accounting scandal involving Enron Corporation, an American energy company which declared bankruptcy in 2001 after it was discovered that the company had engaged in shady, off-the-book business and accounting practices. So I went to Time magazine because, you know, I got to get the real stuff, right? Got to get the real stuff, not just Wikipedia. Got to get the real stuff. So how the Enron scandal changed American business forever. See, if you want to know why people don't trust our government, why people don't trust these three-letter agencies, why people don't trust the stock market and the other markets that we truly should be able to trust as consumers, it's because of things like this. It's because there's no clarity for what we need clarity on. In the early December 2001, innovative energy company, Enron Corporation, a darling of Wall Street investors with $63.4 billion in assets, went bust. They went bust. It was the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. Some of the corporation's executives, including the CEO and chief financial officer, went to prison for fraud and other offenses. So why is Sam not in prison yet? Who's protecting Sam? Can Gary finally put Sam in prison, or can Gary go to prison? Because I believe Gary needs to go to prison. I believe Sam needs to go to prison. I believe his 9 other sex roommates that they did all these, hey, look, it's all conspiracies, but it's a lot of it out there on Twitter. They all need to go to prison. Okay. And we need to start over, because that's the only thing that's going to give this industry what it needs. It's already messed up. When I talk to people about crypto, you know how many people I send the link and they say, oh, no. We've seen the FTX thing. We're not messing with this crypto stuff. This is messed up. Do you understand that if you don't invest into crypto, even though this is happening, you're still screwing yourself? That is the messed up part about what is going on here. Excuse me. So it was also a black mark on the U.S. stock market. At the time, most investors didn't see the prospect of massive financial fraud as a real risk when buying U.S. listed stocks. Same way we didn't feel about crypto. U.S. markets had long been the gold standard in transparency and compliance. That was a real 1-2 punch on credibility. That was the watershed for the U.S. public. It's the reason, 2001 is the reason why most people did not take advantage of the dot-com bubble. Because if you did not take advantage of the dot-com bubble because of Enron, because everything crashed, think about it. They said 2008, Lehman Brothers. We had a crash in 2008. Every single crash we have, a big player crashes, and then the market skyrockets, and people say, I wish. We won't be the I wish. We will be the I did it. We're not missing this opportunity, family. Not if y'all get on my show. You're not missing this opportunity. Americans lost trust in the stock market the same way that Americans are losing trust because of things like this, because Fox News is putting out 8-minute videos on the Ponzi scheme with Democrats. They're going to push Republicans back into the House. This is what is happening. We're watching it unfold right in front of us. It became harder for companies to IPO. It's going to become harder for companies, good crypto projects like Ripple, like XLM, like HBAR, to get the ICO that they truly need and the stifling innovation so that they can just take off. It's getting tough. But tough times don't last. Tough people do. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Let's keep going. Sam Bankman-Fried's disgrace. This is from Fortune. Okay. Sam Bankman-Fried's disgrace could make things awkward for Gary Gensler and the Democrats. Everything is focused on the Democratic Party right now. I would be surprised if the Democratic Party will ever be the same. This guy right here is the reason. This clown, look like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. How could we trust him? We couldn't even trust Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. But you tell me we trust this guy? He is the reason why innovation is being stifled. He's the reason why Ripple is not able to truly do what it needs to do for the US market. He's holding us back, and it was all because of this Democratic nomination to keep his people in the Senate and hopefully keep them in the White House. Congressman Brad Sherman had released a statement on the collapse of FTX. He's a clown too. I don't trust nobody with this forehead. Look at this. Anybody with that, I can't trust them no more. I don't trust them no more. I don't care. I don't trust them no more. This came out November 13th. Today, Congressman Brad Sherman, who's also a Democrat in Sherman Oaks, California, chairman of the Subcommittee of Investor Protection and Capital Markets. All right, and if you look, and I'm sorry, I know that this video gonna be on YouTube. So if you got, look, if you got that type of forehead, I love you, all right? But I don't trust them guys, all right? I don't trust them guys. However, the sudden collapse this week of one of the largest cryptocurrency firms in the world has been a dramatic demonstration of both the inherent risk of digital assets. This is straight out of his mouth. He says the sudden collapse this week of the largest cryptocurrency firm in the world has been a dramatic demonstration of both the inherent risk of digital assets and the critical weakness in the industry that has grown up around them. While it is now evident that the failure of FTX represents tens of billions of dollars in losses, we do not yet know the scope of financial harm caused to consumers and investors in the US and around the world. Well, Congressman Sherman, what I would ask you, and what I would like to ask him, is why didn't he demand for Gary Gensler to create in the CFTC to hurry up and create this regulation so that this didn't happen? Because they was getting paid under the table. If I was getting paid on the table, billions of dollars, I don't know how I would act. And neither do anybody else until you get paid under the table billions of dollars. He said, for years, I have advocated for Congress and federal regulators to take an aggressive approach in confronting the many threats to our society posed by cryptocurrencies. They are continuing to push fear into our people. When the SEC Division of Enforcement Director Gurbir Grewal testified, and I remember this interview. I believe I actually talked about this on episode. It was a while ago. Before my investor protection subcommittee earlier this year, I called on him to pursue enforcement actions against the largest cryptocurrency exchanges for failing to register with the SEC after listing tokens on their platforms that the commission had publicly identified as unregistered securities. He says, in the coming weeks, I also plan to work with my colleagues in Congress to examine options for federal legislation. To date, efforts by billionaire crypto bros to deter meaningful legislation by flooding Washington with millions of dollars in campaign contributions and lobbying spending have been effective. This is in bold right here. A great deal of attention has been given to former FTX CEO, okay, Sam Bankman-Fried's political donations to Democrats. Most of that was spent in primaries, not to help Democrats beat Republicans. However, we have also seen Ryan Salami, here we go, the co-CEO of Bahamas-based FTX Digital Markets, donate over $23 million to Republican candidates and campaign groups in 2022. So it wasn't just on the Democratic side. That's all they want you to see. But it was also millions of dollars that was also invested on the Republican side as well that they are not talking about. Then we got Janet Yellen, the US Treasury Secretary. She said that the crypto sector is in need of very careful regulation, while some lawmakers are already preparing to propose together tougher rules. Tougher rules. It's about to get crazy. I don't trust her either. It's about to get crazy. Let's continue to push forward, family. Tens of billions of dollars were transferred to Ukraine, and then using FTX cryptocurrency, FTT, which was the ticker symbol, the funds were laundered back to Democrats in the US. So they used blockchain technology to launder money, which has been something that has been done forever. We all know that. Doesn't mean that all blockchain is bad. It just means that you got some bad people, right? You got some bad people that are using blockchain for bad things. So tens of billions of dollars, of US dollars, and not just US dollars, but US investors' dollars were literally laundered without us knowing into the hands of these people. And if you look here, Sam Bankman-Fried is sitting next to Bill Clinton on stage at FTX Salt. Let's continue to push forward. This came out November 4th. Drop those coffee emojis. Everybody not going to be able to find this stuff. See, this is why you got to come to Coffee and Crypto. See, the U.S. Department of Defense dropped this right here on November 4th. $400 million in additional security assistance for Ukraine. They literally, right before FTX went down, they sent another $400 million. From where? I don't know, because we're in debt. We don't got $400 million as an economy to send to Ukraine. Where did that $400 million come from? I don't want to theorize it because I don't know. I don't want to count their pockets because I don't want nobody counting mine. But I do believe that this has something to do with it. Let's continue to push forward. And if this couldn't get any worse, Joseph Bankman, who is Sam Bankman-Fried's father, he's a leading scholar in the field of tax law. Joseph Bankman is the author of 2 widely used case books on the subject. His writings on tax policy cover topics such as progressivity, consumption tax, and the role of tax in the structure of Silicon Valley startups. What? So his dad is one of the biggest tax law lawyers and tax law professors in the United States at one of the largest Ivy League schools in the world, Stanford Law. Let's continue to push forward. This is from Stuart Alderati, okay? He is one of the biggest lawyers. He's been following and he's been on this SEC versus Ripple case. He said, if the SEC government was actually crypto's lawful cop on the beat, there would be no need for the chair to repeatedly cajole market participants to come in and register. Regulators with proper jurisdictions do not need to cajole, bully, or enter into the backroom deals. He said, that's why regulation by enforcement has been the SEC's go-to. The tortured enforcement process itself is the punishment, which is why most people settle, which with settlement in hand, the SEC then pretends it has lawful jurisdiction when all it really has is a coerced surrender, which has led to disastrous consequences. For example, in February, the SEC trumpeted its $100 million BlockFi settlement and a commitment by BlockFi to register with the SEC, but BlockFi couldn't afford to pay the fine and nothing was ever registered. Instead, BlockFi was allowed by who? To be rescued by Sam Bankman-Fried, who, if reports are true, got access to BlockFi's assets, including customer deposits. And once again, the bankruptcy lawyers are getting rich while consumers are left holding the bag. Calls for investigation into SBF and FTX are entirely warranted given the fallout. However, that investigation shouldn't obscure the market havoc and consumer harm the SEC continues to create in the absence of regulatory clarity in the US. This is big, y'all. This is big. And if it couldn't get any more juicier, this guy right here, Dan Friedberg, sat on the board of I believe law for FTX. All right, he was the legal counsel. Dan Friedberg, the puppet master, they call him right now. Okay, while the world is leaked stories of drug-fueled sex orgies at the Bahamas penthouse of Sam Bankman-Fried, Harry Potter math deficit, Caroline Ellison, and the strange hacks of FTX draining the last remaining value of clients' funds, we don't see much about Dan Friedberg. He is back at home scrubbing the internet, destroying all evidence and draining any remaining funds. If you don't know who Dan Friedberg is, maybe you remember this scandal right here. In May 2008, there was a company, a poker company called Ultimate Bet. They issued a statement that confirmed cheating had in fact occurred between March 2006 and December 2007. They were allowing for people who bought in more to be able to actually see the hands of all other poker players. So imagine you playing a game of poker online, you pay a little more money on the back end to this company, and then they allow you to see the hands of every single poker player that you're playing against. Now you can play against them and win. This is what was happening in the Ultimate Bet and Absolute Poker scandal. Who was the lawyer that was involved with that scandal? This guy right here. Dan Friedberg. Can't make this up. And if you don't believe me, Dan Friedberg, I have a video of him talking about how Alameda and FTX did their counterfeiting syndicate. I had to pull this one out of the woodworks for y'all real quick. Listen up.
Yeah.
You know, somehow they liquid. I don't know liquid. They may have counterfeited the gun.
Every centralized exchange creates a synthetic. Okay. For the purpose
Yeah,
of
I mean, all we did is just push a button through an exchange. You know, we didn't intend to do that. Certainly, we just we have the new point in our exchange account. We sent it to you using the exchange account.
Yeah.
And it's possible. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
It's like, because that's not on the blockchain.
Fair enough. But one thing we do agree, if we're right, we're going to make world history, aren't we? And this is going to get a lot of public attention as you now put it on the table. Let's get some public attention on this. And you explain where the fuck our points are.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And
But guess what? You're quite correct then. The whole world's going to be looking at it. It'll get a lot of media attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just wait then.
But hopefully, who knows? Maybe they'll come back. Maybe the coin that they send is okay. I hope. I mean, you'll be able to, the coin that goes to the black.
Dan, we don't make the accusation unknowingly. I told you, it's incontrovertible. It's incontrovertible. There's no ifs, there's no buts. Okay? And what you've just done is try to insult us. And what do you think that's going to achieve when you're wrong? When it's incontrovertible that you guys are wrong and you're going to add insult. But what did you think is going to happen? What did you?
Wouldn't be me. I wouldn't know.
No, but what did you think?
No position, just to comment.
Okay. Well, how about this? How about you'd work it out before you started insulting? What did you think was going to happen if you started insulting?
No, I'm just saying, you guys should have accepted the offer.
Okay, by you insulting me, no. By you insulting me and us right now, what did you think? What did you think you were going to achieve?
I was hoping that possibly to save Hussein from imprisonment.
He's saved from imprisonment because you counterfeited coin.
No, because I'm a kind man, Hussein.
What?
Okay, and I'm just saying that.
Dan, listen, let's just end this here. You're obviously, I've got no idea what to say in terms of words. You're obviously wasting our time. Let's just finish this here.
Is that Hussein?
That's Hussein. That's Hussein. I've got no doubt. Yeah, let's just not waste each other's time. You obviously just want to hear waste our time. I think let's just end this conversation where we left it.
Okay, so where do we leave it?
Well, let me.
Okay, when we're right, what are you going to do in 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours?
They on their neck right now. Somebody, hey, I don't know what's about to happen, but these people lost billions of dollars. These folks lost billions of dollars, y'all. It's not a game. It's not a joke. And just like that, shout out to Michael Branch. Appreciate you for being here. He sent me this. Visa terminates the FTX debit card program. A lot of us were excited about the FTX debit card program. Visa cut ties. Everybody's cutting ties. Now I got to show you who's cutting ties. They cut ties. Who else cut ties? Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary cut ties. Who else cut ties? Let's talk about it. How the World Economic Forum and others are hiding their past ties. How many of you all remember? Drop a 7 in the chat box. Drop a 7 on YouTube. If you remember last week, I clearly showed you. You can go back to my episode last week. No, excuse me. Yeah, last week, last Thursday. I showed you guys that FTX was on the World Economic Forum's website. How many people remember me showing that? How many people remember me showing FTX's name being on the World Economic Forum's website? I showed this clearly. All right. Now, I want to show y'all something real quick. Watch this. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't. You just can't. If we go to their partners, section of the World Economic Forum today, literally Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, about 5 days, 6 days later, everybody's washing relationships. If we go to the F's, do you see FTX anywhere on this list now like we did last week? No. So they did everything they needed to do. They laundered all the money. They washed it. They ripped us off. They took consumers' money and they washed it away like it never existed. But there's still other crypto companies here. Here's Ripple. There's other crypto companies, but just like that, FTX has been deleted and depleted like it never existed. And if that doesn't get any worse, let's talk about it. Let's scroll down to the bottom right here. Let's scroll all the way down. I want to show y'all something. In 2012, hold on, wait. As for the World Economic Forum, its ties with Sam Bankman-Fried extend to his family as well. His aunt, Linda P. Fried, an epidemiologist who serves as the dean of Columbia, another huge university, all right, School of Public Health. And this is crazy because I have a public health degree. She's listed on the World Economic Forum's website. Here she is. So they took FTX off, but she's still associated. His aunt. So his dad is the leading lawyer or in business advisor and professor at Columbia Law. And then you turn around and his aunt is the dean and the Lama professor of public health at Columbia, and she's on the World Economic Forum's website. Are you kidding me? Look, guys, I think I've done enough here. I wanted to get into what's happening with Ripple. All right. I wanted to show you guys in the midst. All right. Now, before I get here, hopefully you guys are getting a lot of value. Hopefully you're getting a lot of value. But you got to remember this. They're only going to show you what they want to show you. They're never going to show you what you need to see. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. I'm going to show you what you need to see. I wanted to get all that out the way to circle back to this right here. Breaking news. Judge Torres has granted motion to file the amicus briefs by the Blockchain Association, 6 XRP holders, Coinbase, Crypto Council, Valil Capital, and everybody else, all 12. And they have to have these formally filed by November 18th. Is looking real good still for XRP, for Ripple. And if that's not enough for you, I want to show you the big win that we just had before Ripple Swell conference, which starts tomorrow. Ripple Swell conference starts tomorrow. And right before the Swell conference, we got another win for Ripple, but they're not talking about this on the news. A win for financial inclusion in Africa, just in time for Wakanda forever. Just in time for Wakanda. Yes, sir. Mobile money has long supported economic growth for business and individuals throughout Africa, and financial players are looking to further strengthen digital payment rails across the continent. MFS Africa, a leading fintech with the largest mobile money footprint in Africa, has partnered with Ripple to streamline real-time mobile payments for their customers across 35 countries. I think this is better news than Sam Bankman, but they're not going to talk about this. Let's go. So I share that to say this. Even in the midst of all the turmoil that's going on in the cryptocurrency space, the real players are still moving forward. The real players are still making an impact. The real players are still, they're still making these partnerships. Meanwhile, they're flooding us out of this industry. They're making everybody sell their crypto. And then what's going to happen is we're going to bottom out. All regulation is going to come. All of the institutional investors are going to invest at the bottom dollar. Believe that. They're going to invest at the bottom dollar. And then everything is going to shoot up to where you won't be able to afford it. I promise you. You heard it here first. So what I would like to do, if you enjoyed this show, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. I'm going to drop the YouTube channel. Don't go nowhere just yet. All right. We're only 6 minutes over. I thought we was going to be way over the time. All right. I want to open up this line. I know y'all got a lot to share today. So y'all go ahead and raise your hands while I'm dropping stuff in the chat box. I need y'all to go ahead and raise your hands up and drop one thing you like, learned, and love. Go ahead and raise those hands. I need to hear from you guys. And you see the link I'm dropping inside the Zoom chat. Click that subscribe button. Go ahead and click the subscribe button, family, and subscribe to the channel. Turn the notification bell on, because from this moment forward, we're not playing no games. All right, raise those hands up. I need to hear from you guys. Look, I didn't do all this research not to hear from y'all at the end. So raise your hands up. I need to hear from the community right now. Zatrick, I already saw your hand. I'm calling on you. All right, I saw your hand. Look, I'm the guy. If I see your hand, I'm still calling on you. I'm paying attention. So don't raise your hand if you ain't trying to talk. Okay? Don't raise your hand if you're not trying to talk, but I need to hear from the community. I need to hear from you all. And if you're on YouTube right now, what I want to do is I want to say, I appreciate you for tapping in. How many of you all are not a part of my Discord group? Drop a 7 in the chat box. If you're not a part of the Secrets to Crypto and Money Mastery class Discord group powered by the Vincent Owens Group, drop a 7 in the chat box. I want to know how many people that tune into this call are not a part of the dang on Discord group. Like, it don't make sense. How many of you all are not a part of this Discord group? Let me know. Drop a 7 in the chat box. Well, what I want to do is I want to invite you to join the Discord group. There's the link right there. Click that link, join the Discord group, get in here. We have 2 trading calls a week. We trade XRP every single Saturday. Tomorrow, Chris will be going live trading Forex. We are trading, we're making money. How many of you all made money? How many of you all made money on that XRP buy that we called out? Light up the chat box if you made money with us. And if you're inside the chat, if you're inside of our Discord and you ain't make no money, Jamel made like $400 this morning. He woke up to $400. Some of y'all did not wake up to $400. Some of y'all woke up to drama this morning. I'm just saying, don't sleep. Join the Discord group. It's completely worth it. $400. Come on, Jamel. Let's go. With that being said, I'm about to call on my brother Zatrick. Pull up, bro.
Man, what up, y'all? How y'all doing today this morning? Can y'all see me? You hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm in the trainer's room right now. You know what I'm saying? Getting that vibe on. But one thing that I did like was I really appreciate how you explained the FTX thing and how it's like it's bashing this space and everything, because the same thing happened in 2017 where everybody was bashing it. And then next thing you know, Bitcoin went up to 69,000 4 years later. When they were talking about it in 2017, it was just at like 17,000. So it's like they're intentionally making all this bad things happen, trying to scare people out the market and stuff. And it's important for us to not be scared. And this information that you're giving us is showing us how, like, it's okay that all this stuff is happening. It's time for us to get in our bag. And when it's time to go to the moon, we're going to go to the moon for sure. And that's really what I appreciate, because I was in class, I'm listening, you know what I'm saying? I'm in and out of class, but I'm like, bro, this man is spitting fire right now, like straight up fire, bro. Like, it's very important that we get all this information. Like this FTX thing, they just had the whole Miami arena and now they're gone. And really, it got me wondering, like, how many more crypto like exchanges are finna go down? Like, will crypto.com go down next or something? Like, are they gonna go after Coinbase or something? Like, but the fact that FTX went through all these problems and stuff is just like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And but the one thing that I really love is how you were just pulling in the politics side to it. Because at one point you were showing he was up there with the Democrats, and he said it's not just the Democrats, it's the Republicans as well. So I was like, it's money being given on both sides. Like, it's just, you just got to follow where the money goes. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate it, Patrick. Yes,
No
sir.
problem.
I'll see you soon, bro.
100.
Yes, sir. Wow. Huge. I appreciate that. Ms. Zuli, I'm gonna call on you. I see you up next. Hold on. Oh, sorry. I think I lost you. All right, there it is.
Okay, good morning. Great dynamite. Did fantastic. Great job, really. So there's so much information, as Cedric was mentioning, this one thing after the other. This really helped to see that, that how government is so corrupt and why this election is so critical. And the next one, never, whether it's just your town, your city, whatever, just make sure that you exercise that and really study who we're voting, who we're putting into office. I really appreciated watching Bruce Fenton, because he really expressed, his heart and how, yes, he's maybe a billionaire, but just to show his level of humanity, and there's many others as well. So I really it was wonderful to be able to see that. And there's not, when we talk about money, when we talk about crypto, it's not just, that the cold-blooded or the what we say about money's evil and all of that conversations that so many people have, the 95% have in their mindset. So it's about how can we change even our own mindset about money. And now, crypto, how can we change people's mindset about crypto and making sure that we own our own keys, that we take care of our wallets. And thank you. I can just go on, but fantastic. Great job.
Thank you so much, Ms. Zuli. I appreciate it. I didn't even know how this call was going to go, y'all, but I'm just grateful that we've been able to pull it all together. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Zuli. Absolutely. And before I call on Jamel, I want to make another announcement before some people end up getting off. On next Tuesday, 1 week from today, all right, we will be hearing from another influencer in the space. All right, I want to show you exactly who will be who will actually be hearing from in the space. Give me 1 second. So this guy right here, Greg Lunt. All right. If you do not follow him on Twitter, go follow him on Twitter. He will be live. He is huge on quant. He is the quant king. He is the quant king. If you've been wanting to know about quant, he's in all of the back. I had an 1.5 hour long conversation with Greg. And it was just crazy last night talking to this guy. And we saw eye to eye on so much things. He's excited to be on the show. He's going to be promoting on his Twitter for this show next week. He'll be here live on Tuesday. This will be our second interview. And I told you guys, it's going to get bigger and bigger. This guy is bullish. He's been buying quant since like 2018, 2019. He got so much quant. So, and he also works for Uphold. He's a writer. He's an underwriter for Uphold. So we'll be able to kind of interview him and learn how that experience is. So you do not want to miss this. I promise you, your other favorite crypto show is not doing this. I promise you. No, nobody else is doing this. All right. So that's why you want to definitely be here. All right. I'm actually adding him to the Discord group this week. He will be being a part of our Discord group. He will be dropping stuff on quant inside of our Discord group. That's why I said you want to join the Discord group. I promise you it won't be $50 forever. I will raise the prices. I promise you after the holidays, it will not be $50. So you better get a part of the Discord group. And if you don't care, cool. But the price will go up. Don't miss it. Don't miss out. I promise you. Don't miss out. So with that being said, I want to call on the next person. All right. Jamel, the floor is yours, my brother.
Hey, good morning, everyone. What's up?
Good morning, bro.
How y'all doing?
Man, doing well.
Good. So first off, bro, I want to say that I took a lot of notes, man, and I'm about to rewatch this. This was extremely bullish. I learned a lot of things. And check this out. I lost my phone over the weekend. I saw it on found day, and I've been worried I'm gonna get hacked just like Billy did, unfortunately. And the thing is that over those like 2 days, I got really like worried, put me like anxious and whatever. So I wasn't even studying, looking at the charts, looking at nothing, and then it comes like what I think Sunday-ish, I find out that this whole FTX is going on. I'm like, oh shit, like what the heck? Like all this happened in like 2 days. So like there's gonna be a lot of obstacles, guys. You guys are gonna be like down, but like make sure that like you stay updated because like we're in a really important space. And yeah, anything that throws us off is gonna throw us off the track to getting to success, So we're in a really good space. We're gonna face a lot of obstacles, and even if you're in a bad position, try your best to stay educated, because staying educated in this is what's gonna lead you to success. It's what's gonna lead you to leave a generation of wealth for your family, And it's gonna make being in this space worth it. You don't want to just be here and listen. You want to be here to take notes. You want to be here to actually apply what Vincent is saying, what other people are saying into your life, so you can be updated and you can be like in the actual right space. You can be up to date. You can not be like behind. So also another thing I want to say, thank you for pulling up Twitter, bro. I wrote down all the people you follow because after that I follow them too, so I can get all the news and everything. That's a really good way of researching too. You know, I feel like you go on Google, start researching more, so you dive deeper into the rabbit hole, bro. So yeah, man, that's really important. So I want to say much gratitude, bro, much love, and yeah, bro, these cards are really important, and I can see your growth, and I know they're gonna get a lot better, bro. So doing amazing, man. Keep doing the good work. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Jamal. I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that. It's good to hear that, man. It's good to hear that from the community. And last but certainly not least, my dog, Eastside Monifa. Monifa. If y'all know what Monifa stands for, that means money. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna call on Monifa. Come on up, bro. Are you able to unmute? Let me know in the chat box if you're able to unmute. All right. Well, I'm guessing it may not be working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say I appreciate you. I appreciate everything. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for tapping in, and just being a part of what it is that we have going on. If you are looking for a community, feel free to click the link. Yes, sir. If you are looking for a community, click that link, join the Discord while it's still at $50. What up, Monique?
Hey, can you hear me, Vince?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm fine. My bad. My phone was jacked up, bro. But now I was gonna say, bro, I really like the way you research everything and how you put it together to where, like, when we see, like, I've been in this space for about a year, ever since I met you. And every time I see something on the internet or like some news on TV about something that's going on in the space, even on Bloomberg, it's just like it's at the surface. And when you explain everything to us, it's like you just pulled the curtain off everything they were hiding, like just like what you did today. Like whatever we couldn't understand or whatever we had ideas about, like them, funding the Republicans and the Democrats, you literally pulled the sheet off of that. I love that, bro. I appreciate you. Like, keep us really on our toes and updated. Like, if anybody's gonna get in this space and they're gonna get in the Discord, like you guys really got to be for real about this, because in the beginning, when I was dealing with trading or crypto or anything, I was skeptic. Like I just knew it was money in it. But the deeper and deeper I go, and the more I research and jump on the calls with Vincent, hey man, like I'm all in. I'm trying to set my grandkids straight before I even have my kids.
Wow. That's
Keep
crazy.
doing your thing, Vince. You going up, my boy.
I appreciate it, my boy. You already know.
You know it.
Monifa. Appreciate it, bro.
You know it.
Yes, sir. People don't even know where that come from. Hey, that come from the rich kids. They had a song called Monifa. Hey, I was a senior high school with Monifa. When Monifa came out. I know my boy, my boy Jare know about Monifa. You know what I mean? But definitely, and Mo. I know Mo know about Monifa. Jare, I know DJ probably know about Monifa. But with that being said, y'all, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, for tapping in. And we're about to get up out of here. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. And with that being said, we'll see y'all at the top and definitely not from the top. Have a great day, y'all.